Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about their new Star Wars TV shows, the new Star Wars movies that are currently in the works, that will be announced at multiple events such as D23, Disney Plus Day, and yes, even Star Wars Celebration next year. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new Star Wars universe is that we have a lot of things that are being done by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni in the mix, while also getting George Lucas in the equation to really help balance out the Star Wars franchise. Now, we already know that Favreau and Filoni are allowing Lucas to do a lot of different things with the Star Wars universe by their side in order to really propel the franchise into a more positive direction. So the good news is that, as we discussed, Kathleen Kennedy is losing control month by month over the Acolyte series. As of now, she only has control over a total of 4 episodes out of the 9, leaving both Jon and Lucas calling the shots on 5 whole episodes. Not that they're writing the show, but they are calling the shots on what needs to be put into the show and what needs to be taken out. And that's exactly what Leslie Headland is doing and why she's extra busy lately. So, on top of all of this, one thing about George Lucas that is actually very surprising and exciting has a lot to do with what he recently was able to do with the Star Wars franchise and convince the Disney executives to allow himself and Favreau to actually move forward with. And this all, of course, is going to cater to many of the beloved characters that fans grew up with. Now, with that being said, with George Lucas now joining the new Star Wars universe to help both Favreau and Filoni create a new beginning for the Star Wars universe, Lucas is also set to co-write a handful of projects in order to help out with the new Star Wars stories that are actively in development. Now, it's described that one thing that George Lucas recently did that is going to reunite the Star Wars fandom is that Lucas will be calling the shots on something truly special that will happen in The Mandalorian Season 4. Now, one big development that is happening behind the scenes is set to involve Lucas getting hired for The Mandalorian 4 to help both Favreau and Filoni to reunite characters like Luke, Han, and Leia in the mix, that is going to also include a young version of Ben Solo in the 4th season. All of this is already storyboarded, however, George Lucas is described to be calling the shots on how the scene will be executed, and that it was Favreau's call to let Lucas come on board of the scene and convince the Disney executives to allow him to do all of this. Now, the scene is set to take place on the world of Ossus, which is the location of Luke's Jedi temple. It's described to be a very big moment in which both Han and Leia are dropping off Ben Solo to actually bring him into his Jedi training with Luke. George Lucas is described to be changing some of the already existing canon that Disney had previously established. Now, in the canon, Luke Skywalker's Jedi students are far younger in age, where the new Jedi students that Lucas is having Jon and Dave pursue are going to be far older in design, along with Ben Solo joining Skywalker's Academy at a completely different age. Now, some story elements are being shifted around by Lucas in order to make things easier for the storytelling process. Disney is said to be perfectly fine with all of this as long as it makes the fans happy. Lucas himself has been trying to convince Harrison Ford to come back for the reunion between the 3 characters. However, Harrison, not surprising, is still said to be giving Disney a hard time on coming back. Now, let's just pause here quick for a second before we get on to the more exciting stuff. Now, the thing about all of this, too, is that Harrison Ford, it's always been like twisting someone's arm to get him to come on board of a Star Wars project. In the very beginning, in case you guys did not know, it really took a lot of effort by Disney to get Han back in The Force Awakens because Harrison Ford, in the beginning, just did not want to come back. And that's exactly why I think he did join, is because he always wanted his character to get killed off, and that's what he always wanted to see. He always wanted that closure. And I think that was really, what really allowed Harrison Ford to say, okay, if you're going to kill my character off, fine, so be it, I'll join. The thing with this is, Harrison Ford, alright, we saw and witnessed how much of an effort it took them to bring Han back into The Rise of Skywalker. It took roughly 4 months of convincing Harrison Ford back and forth to come back as a Force vision for Ben Solo to realize, that what he is doing is wrong. And basically, Harrison Ford coming back for The Mandalorian Season 4 to create a younger version of Han Solo. Is it likely? Well, it looks very murky, to say the least. I mean, it really is like a 30-70 chance. I mean, I really don't know if Harrison Ford's going to really go through with that, but they have a backup plan, and we're going to be tapping into that in just a second. ILM has a big backup plan to achieve their goals with John, George, and Dave about really making this reunion a big possibility. And they are moving forward with it. It's all done in storyboards. It's all finalized to be done in the script. Jon Favreau is going to begin writing this script very soon. He's only done storyboards so far to get the general idea of the story and the placement of each episode. But overall, moving forward from that, alright, this is where things begin to pick up, is that, however, Harrison, of course, is still giving Disney a lot of problems, but ILM has a backup plan to use a new type of deepfake technology that has never before been seen, that will cost tons of money, however, but will be worth it. ILM has been requesting for Ford to at least come in and provide some new scans. However, that too is still in debate. Ford is negotiating on financial subjects with Disney at the moment for the return of Han Solo and Mando 4. Now, regardless, if Ford declines, ILM has a backup plan. Leia, however, is going to be recreated with brand new technology never before been seen. Lucas is prepared to change some of the Star Wars canon that will involve the big reunion between the three, and it will shift some of the timelines around in the comics and books slightly. Something that Favreau and Filoni are willing to do in order to accomplish a great goal. Now, as I've said before in the past, this is something that's long overdue. It's something that they should have done right from the get-go. I mean, let's be honest. They should have had this reunion in their older years, in The Force Awakens. That shouldn't really have been just debated with or toyed with. They really could have just done it right off the bat. Now, in the beginning, that's what Michael Arndt wanted to do, the original writer of Episode 7. He wanted Luke, Han, and Leia to have a moment in the first film of the sequels. And Kathleen Kennedy did not like that. She did not want that to happen. A lot of creative, problems came aboard, and that's why he left. He left for multiple reasons, by the way, but that was one of the reasons. A lot of creative differences. Not a surprise with Kathleen. So, Harrison Ford, I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen. It's looking very murky, like I said before. But they are trying to get Han Solo as a returning character in the overall Mandoverse. This includes the Book of Boba Fett Season 2, as well as other projects, to really kind of explore different avenues. They're doing things in segments, They're basically giving us all these familiar characters in different shows to slowly roll them out, and to eventually have them all band together in some very unique ways. So overall, I think that John and Dave have their head on straight. George Lucas is doing a great thing here by, really convincing the executives to allow Favreau and Filoni to do this, and how Favreau is the one that really allowed Lucas to come on board in the first place. So overall, guys, let me know what you guys think about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.